Hi, this is Julian Russell with the fourth part of Taking Charge of Your Life, which is about small changes that can change your life. So in the first three parts in the first session we talked about how positive emotions lead to success, and we talked about ways that you could produce more positive emotions in your life. In the second part, we talked about your vision for your life. If you want to take charge of your life, what's your vision for your life? And what are the goals? What are the milestones that will help you get there? Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 1 year? What do you need to do now? And then in the third part, we talked about self-belief and the importance of challenging old negative beliefs and reinstalling, coaching yourself, talking to yourself with new positive beliefs that gives you hope and a sense of possibility about the future. And so today we're going to put all of that into practice in our lives. If you haven't done the first three parts of the series, I strongly recommend that you do that. I also recommend that you download the workbook which is connected with this series, which has lots of detail and exercises in it, and supports this 4 series of videos. You'll find the link either above or below this particular video. So let's talk about the topic for today. Thinking about your life is great. Getting a feeling in your heart of passion about your future, mobilizing yourself, being positive, being optimistic about the future. All of that is really important. But the place where the change really takes place is in the practical steps that you take in your life. And so let's try and translate some of the things that you've learned during the previous 3 webinars and put them into practice in your life in a practical and concrete way. So the first video was about having more positive emotions in your life, and the workbook has a questionnaire which identifies or helps you identify where are the strong places where are the places you already are good at getting positive emotions, and where are the places that you're bad at creating more positive emotions. And then the suggestion was in that first webinar that you do more of the things that make you feel great, where you have a high score, which you find easy to do, and spend less attention on the ones that are difficult, because just getting more positive emotion will help you change your life. So if you have pen and paper, or you could pause this and get pen and paper, write down what are some of the things that you learnt from the first webinar that could increase the positive emotion in your life. Are you ready now to make some commitment to those activities, those actions that will create positive emotion in your life? And, is there something that you're willing to commit to during the course of the days and weeks that come? So that's the first agenda item. The second item is, are you clear about the vision? Did you do the homework from the second webinar on your vision for your life? Do you have a written statement about what you'd like your life to look like, what you'd like your life to sound like, and what you would like your life to feel like if you had taken charge of your life? So having that statement is really important. In some ways, it's best to have it as a movie in your mind's eye, something that you see, something that you hear, something that you feel. But it's also important to write it down as well. The greater variety of ways that you can express your vision for your life and feel it in your heart, the more likely you are to do something about it and put it into practice. So, and then attached to that, you have a milestone. What is your plan to get there? How are you going to change your life to get there? And, where do I said 3-year vision, but it could be a 10-year vision. If it was 10 years, where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 1 year? Where do you want to be by the end of the first 6 months of 2018? Where do you need to be by the end of the first quarter in 2018? Is there anything you need to do by January the 1st, 2018? what's the plan that will take you forward? And of course, you won't have completed that plan until the end of the webinar today. But nevertheless, beginning to make that plan robust and committing to certain parts of it is really important. Then the next webinar was on self-belief. And during that webinar, we identified some of your negative beliefs and we identified some of your positive beliefs. Is there one belief that you'd be willing to work with every single day for the course of the next month? So new habits get created by doing things regularly, and every day is a good amount of time. So what's a positive belief about yourself and your future that you can write down every day, repeat to yourself every day, coach yourself on every day? And write that belief down in your notebook, in your journal, and perhaps make a commitment to write it down again every single day. Now that may sound silly, but Lanny Bassam, who was coaching Olympic champions, he had some of those Olympic champions write in their journal every single day, I am the Olympic champion in such and such a sport. So just as an experiment, what will it cost you? Write down in your journal, a positive belief that really is core to you moving forward in your life. I'm learning how to be successful in my life. I'm learning how to be happy in my life. I'm learning how to interact with people that makes my relationships deeper and more intimate. Whatever the new belief is that you're developing in yourself, write that down every day. And so then, sort of connected to that, I want to talk about creating new habits. The secret of creating new habits is that first principle is that it should be so small, the new habit, that you can't not do it. So for example, I have a yoga practice that I can do in 2 minutes. There's actually a 15-minute yoga practice that I do, but there's a small part of it that I can do that takes 2 minutes. And so there is no reason why I can't do that every day. And occasionally I miss it, but very, very seldom. And it's become such a habit that once I finish my meditation practice in the morning, then I turn my bath on. I know how long my bath is going to take to run. It's going to take 10 minutes. And I put my timer on my phone and I put on today, or if I'm up early, I might, if I'm at a sort of odd time, I'm not going to go into how iPlayer works, but if I'm at an odd time, I'll put on the news summary at 5:30 a.m. On iPlayer, and then I'll do my yoga practice, and I do it almost every day. So that's the first secret. Make it less than 10 minutes. The second secret is repeat it 5 or 6 times a week for 30 days. So for example, it might be, your commitment might be, I will do this 6 days a week for 30 days, or 5 days a week for 30 days. The reason for giving yourself time off is that so that one day when you're late for work, or you screw up, or you want to lie in, or life happens, that you then haven't broken the new habit that you're creating. So I would suggest 6 days a week, but there might be some reason why you'd say 5 days a week. And it's really up to you. And then measure it. So create, get a one-page diary calendar, or I draw it up on a piece of paper. I draw up, 7 days, columns for 7 days. And then I write down the page, I write the date in. And then for each time I do the new habit, I put a tick in, or you could get a gold star, or I've used a highlighter pen. And I keep reinforcing the habit. So I make a decision about the new habit, and then I praise myself afterwards with the gold star, or with the yellow highlighter pen, or just by saying, hey, Julian, you did your practice today. That's great. So what might you want to create a new habit around? And I've just suggested that you might want to create a new habit around self-belief. So, are you going to say that new belief to yourself every day? What is it that you want to do every day that will, in a very small way, subtle way, change the course of your future? So those are, there are quite a lot of possibilities. I'll run them through in a moment. But there's one more area that I want to mention before we summarize all of that back again, which is, so you've got a vision of your future. how can you test that future without fully committing to it? How can you try it out without a vast expense, without without having to leave your job or having to leave your partner or having to change anything, change your house? How can you experiment with it? So a smart step is, for example, you want to run workshops. Well, run a weekend workshop. You want to be a coach. Have someone that you coach in the evening, or pick some people at work to coach. What are some things that you can experiment with? You do a small version of your future. You try it out. You get feedback. And then you redesign another smart step. You try it again in another way. You experiment with it at low cost, low risk to find out whether or not it works. Then you reevaluate it and you create another smart step. So what's something that will take you one step in the right direction, a short step in the right direction? So, and if you look in the workbook, you'll see this list that I'm talking about now. But here are some of the options of the things that you can commit to. What might you commit to in terms of making a habit around creating more positive emotion in your life? What might you commit to in terms of achieving goals that will take you in the right direction in terms of achieving your life? Perhaps some smart steps, which are mini projects that test your future state out without risking too much. And when you reevaluate and change, create another step after that. How could you plan some changes that are sufficiently safe for you to actually carry them out without going the whole hog? What new habits might you want to create around the positive emotion, around creating new beliefs that support you? You may also in this process want to think about getting other forms of support or assistance. So, for example, the personal transformation intensive taking place in January that will really help you think about your future, will help you think about what are all the great things about myself that I can reinforce, and what are the painful, difficult things, the difficulties in my psyche that hold me back, that I want to reduce. And the personal transformation intensive focuses on those two topics. What do I want to create stronger in my life? What's the vision I want to make that's stronger? What are all my resources to do that? What are the things that are holding me back? Or if you really wanted a life-changing experience, you could do the Life Talent Program, which is 20 days over 8 long weekend. Well, a Friday, it's not a long weekend, it's a Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, where we really do all of this in detail to create a life-changing experience. And out of those 8 weekends plus a 4-day, one of the weekends is a 4-day module, makes 20 days. Across the year from March all the way through to the beginning of December 2018. So what support do you need to help you take charge of your life, to transform your life, to make your dreams come true? And there are other programs that you could do that are nothing to do with me and my organization. Malcolm Stern runs an ongoing group. Organizations like Spectrum run groups. There are lots of places that you can go for different sorts of input in terms of making your dreams come true and transforming your life. I hope you've found this interesting today. My advice is sit down after you've watched this video and actually make some serious commitment to some small actions, some small changes that help you move forward in changing your life. And remember that changing your life involves your own nourishment and support of yourself. It involves enlisting friends who believe in you, who see you, who understand you, your tribe, if you like, in supporting you in going where you want to go in your life. It could involve peer support from an ongoing group, other members, people that you would meet in some sort of training program or ongoing group who would support you, who would do phone calls with you, who would be a part of your change process. And of course, there's the professional support that you can get as well, whether it's coaches or one-to-one therapists or being a part of a group from experts who would help you in the change process. My course, the Personal Transformation Intensive, is coming up, I think, on the 16th of January, that weekend. And you'll find that all on the Life Talent page. And also the 2018 Life Talent program that's about transforming your life will also be there on the Life Talent page. Great to talk to you today. Give me questions or talk to me or message me, email me, or fix a time to talk to me on the phone if you'd like to talk about this further. Great to talk to you today. Take care.